Hello, my YouTube people. I actually am doing a different little flick here. I'll have some garden tours and some regular ones pretty soon, but those are more work. They take more editing, but I'm just going to try to just shoot from the hip and see how we go. I've been doing some live videos where I paint and create and having so much fun with it, and I'm going to do some of that tonight, and I'm going to record it and post it like a regular video and see what happens. Before we get started, I had something fun that happened this morning, and it was sentimental and tender. And so, I don't know, I'm sure every single person who watches this has had an experience or a brush with grief. And if not now, eventually it will be your story too, sadly. It is the way of this world. And I inherited my mom's art stuff, and I was digging through some of her stuff and mixing it into mine. And you know, I lost her in 2019, so it's no new grief for me. But in the bottom of her art kit, like where you wouldn't expect, I found a couple of things, and I just want to document it and share it. So first of all, I probably wouldn't have known what this was before. It even has her name, and she did it, oh, let's see, 2019, she put 4. So this was April of the year that she passed away. She passed away in September. But this is like a base. This is like when you have extra when you're painting on one project, but you don't want to waste the paint because it costs too much. You start the base layer of something else. I probably will not paint over that. I'll probably stick it up on my wall somewhere because that is lovely to me. And I found it, and I'm in the beginning. So I'm a novelist, I do eBay, I am a grandma, I'm an avid gardener. Because of her, she was a master gardener, and I drafted along behind her, and I have all this momentum from her. But my journey as a painter, drawer, artist, mixed media, whatever, I've really just had it in my planner. And at some point I'm going to do a planner tour because I've been a planner user since 2003. So 23 years of consistent every year use. And I've been a Hobonichi Techno Cousin A5 planner user for like, I don't know, 6-7 years. I don't know. And so I might do one on those and show that I kind of limited myself when I was really busy to just doing the art that I could fit into those journals. And I'm busting out. Empty Nest has me, you know, I set my own time and do my own thing. And with the writing and stuff, I'm actually kind of figuring out that if I keep some of these other creative ventures alive, then I actually end up really loving the creative momentum. So I also found this, which is in my mom's handwriting, and it is, she didn't do a planner, but she did a to-do list, and this is like, if you read it, it's such a description of her. She has make cards and paint cards. Of course, she had her budget and vacuum and fix the light in the house and buy fish for dinner, and she has her grandkids' birthday cards and to go to her grandson's race, but she said hummingbird food was on there, which is a thing I do. She had people that she was praying for, and she was visiting, getting their kayak. Like, it's like a little time capsule of her world. And this paper, see how rumpled it is and how different handwriting and scratched out and paint on it. That is my mom, and it makes me miss her, and it made me tear up when I first got it. And it actually makes me feel brave with my planner because I can see who she was right here in a silly little note with her handwriting. I did see somebody on the Instagram, the grams, somewhere in the reels or whatever, that they actually kept ephemera that was people's handwriting, if it was grocery lists or recipes or things that were actually written in people's handwriting. And I kind of feel the beginning of my ephemera. I think I just like that word. My ephemera stage where you actually do paper craft. When it's inside my main planner, it gets too thick and fat. But this girl is over here, has started some art. What are these things called? My art journals. So we might have some room for some ephemera to get stuffed in there. So I'm going to tuck this away. And the other thing that was with it was this. I'm not sure I'm going to do it. Maybe I'll do it later. Maybe I'll do it on a live. So this is a printed out, like the old, like printed out on HP, like off your computer paper printer. And she had it folded up, obviously, but it's, sorry, there's a reflection. But it's just a farmhouse with the tulip fields and the moody sky. And it was actually what she printed out to paint. It might even have been a painting. It looks to me like it was a painting that she printed out. So I know that she was planning on painting this, or did at some point, and I don't know. My dad has a bunch of her work. So even that, I was like, so I'm painting that. I don't know that it'll be any good, because I'm at the very beginning of my, they say 10,000 serious hours, serious practice hours, 10,000 of them. And I'm somewhere at the beginning of that journey, and I have been for a few months, actually probably a year or more. I'll have to figure out when I started so I can actually know that. So my mom's thing there, all of her stuff, which was so tender. These are some of my inspirations that I'm going to paint is from these old cards. When I go thrifting, sometimes I'm very fond of stationery, like beautiful stationery, and these came in one estate, and I just think the art on them is beautiful. So I got to give creds if I actually paint them. Not that they'll look anything like it. I always think that's funny. You give creds to the person who originally composed it, and then you paint something that doesn't look anything like it. That's the way it is. So that is so fun to me, and I just wanted to share that with you. I am going to sit here and paint for a second, and I'm going to turn you upside down so you can watch. Hopefully you're folding laundry, or this is keeping you company while you're washing dishes, or you're encouraged to do your own art and craft. I would love to know if you're knitting or crocheting or taking care of your house plants or anything like that, because that'd be your girl. One click above boring. That's what we are over here. One click above boring. I'd love your interaction. And I had to, for my book world, I have a newsletter, a subscriber newsletter, like everyone does. And I was writing, I had a thoughtful prose about returning to read. I used to read a ton. I could read up to like 100 books a year and still be writing and creating. And that's nonfiction and fiction mixed together. And of late, I just have felt the pace, like I am so fast. I don't feel stressed. I don't feel unhealthy. I don't feel out of balance. But the days are sure booking so quickly. And I kind of love that, because I had some really long, slow days with COVID. But in the process, I've let go of reading a little bit. And so I wrote in there how much, I've seen people going back to hard books and slowing down and like getting immersed in them instead of just reading for a few minutes here and there, snatches on the run. They're like sitting down, having a cup of tea, reading for an hour. And I used to balance my book under my toe while I folded laundry and be able to read while I folded all my kids' laundry. That's a lot of reading, because it was a lot of laundry. So I'm going to show you, I'm a person who likes to have like 5 books going at once. I like to have a nonfiction hard copy, a fiction hard copy, a book on my phone, so an ebook, a digital book, or on my Kindle. Those are usually the same. I like to have a like a spiritual or a wisdom or a sage book. And these days I also like craft books, like a teach you how to write better, teach you how to do something better. And then inside those craft books, I've actually really found it to be a good thing to have one that's designed for inspiration. And I might have to talk about that too, because not tonight, but like, because that's just such an important part of being a creative for the long haul. And I'm 50, going to be 51 in just a month. And I'm planning on being like some of these people I watch on YouTube who are like 95 and 105. If I have any say, long and healthy, but vivacious and full of learning. And if I do the 10,000 hours while I'm young, because isn't 50 young if you're going to be 90? Like, we don't know what our tomorrows are, but we better plan for them. And so anyway, so I'm reading. So these are, I usually I write historical romance, historical Christian romance. But I like to read all genres, and sometimes I know the author. This author writes in multiple genres. This one's about mermaids, if it's your thing. And I can't tell you if it's good or not because I'm only a little bit in, but in her other books, she's renowned, and she actually is nominated for some big awards this year. So we'll see. Actually, maybe this one was getting one. I don't know. That's actually, maybe not. And this is a new author. This is her first one. This is contemporary suspense, like with a little thriller in there, romantic. And I'm only a little ways in, but I've sat under this lady's teaching, and she is quick and together, and I'm feeling that in her story craft so far. So pretty good. And this one won, I won the Carol Award or something last year for the Christian fiction. And this is a YA, young adult, a fantasy. It's got dragon stuff in there, and I mean, look at the cover. Doesn't it just tell you right there what it is? And she was a speaker too. And sometimes when you hear somebody speak, you kind of get what's inside their head, and it just makes the books better. So there's my book share. If you're a reader, I would love you to tell me. And actually, I would love book recommendations. I read Theo of Gold, like a lot of other people did, and I understand the desire to read it. It's actually a beautiful book. It kind of makes you feel like loving on your neighbor and seeing people, writing cards. I actually sent a card this last week. It was a grief card. Somebody had lost a spouse, and I tried to paint them. So it was technically my first portrait that I gifted. I draw faces in here all the time, really poorly. I'm going to quit saying that pretty soon, but not yet, because I want you guys to be braced that there's a lot of bad art going over here, and that's not what I'm aiming at. I'm aiming at the doing of it and the getting, you know, you have to learn the medium as well as the composition, and, you know, there's thousands of layers to this thing, and I don't really want to be told how to do it. I want to experience it. So I'm mixed media. I get the goop on there, and I do a bunch of stuff. So we're going to do a little paint now, and I don't know how long I'm going to do this for, but I am going to situate you so you can see real good, and then let it go. I should figure out how to have a second camera, but I don't. So we're just going to do this, and I don't know which ones of these I'm going to do, but we will set those here and get going on. I have lots of different, my goal is to fill these up. So when I look at them, I'm looking at how much I have left, and that's how I'm being encouraged, because there, like I said, there's a lot of art in these, a lot of not super great art. And I love birds and flowers and nature and abstract, and I'm definitely one who will journal entry and write in there. And I just got to keep going. So let's start. We're going to clip this one open and feel some of this. Okay, I'm going to peek and see what you guys are looking at here. It's not fun unless you can actually see what I'm doing. So I think I'm going to do this one first. I just think this is stunning. I think it's the color contrast. And I should probably use my masking fluid, but I don't want to wait for it to dry. And that is the definition of my life too, impatience. Is anybody my impatient twin over here? Okay, so we're gonna pull some of this stuff in here. Get this right here and get going. We're gonna go right for the big blues, and I think I'll do this whole. Oh, that's a wild brush. It's bigger than I thought it was. Yep. And I'm going to start the way I like to do, since I don't get to use my fancy blow dryer. I will start a couple paintings at the same time. And the one thing that's weird is I don't even know which papers I like yet. All the artists, when they talk, they're like, this paper is fancy because of this. And all I know is papers do not treat you kind. They treat you different every single time. So this is a little extra paint on my brush, and I'm just going to use it. I don't know what I'm making here, so we'll just go for it. And maybe put some sage down in there. I am not a snob for color, or whether you should mix your own colors or any of that stuff now. I don't know yet. I am of no opinion because I don't have enough experience to make my own opinion. But I've been doing the Paint With Me lives and actually really, really having a good time with the people that show up. It's just so random. You know, you never know who you're going to get, and I can do those late at night. I know we're going to be weird. And one thing I have figured out is that you have to get the color, you get the shapes down, and then you can go for color. And this seems like a crazy place to start Mr. Peacock, but we will find the way. Let's see, this is just the neck, so we're going here. But I actually find it to be super relaxing, and so we're gonna keep painting together. I seem to be drawn to this this color here. And peacocks are full of vibrancy, right? Get to cheat and have all the colors in there. All the colors of the rainbow. And yeah, so I might actually do a live tonight too, because I don't have any reason not to, and I just am really enjoying the old learning curve. When I have a full day where I sit in front of my computer, this is being medicine to just sit here and do this. Pretty soon I start humming and I start thinking about other people, or potentially even, you know, whispering my heart's prayers over them or different things like that, and having such pleasant thoughts versus sometimes when I'm bum rushed by work, it's a little bit different feeling at the end of the day. So the sky almost looks a little bit prehistoric or something, like, yeah. I don't know if I'm abstract or not yet. Like, I haven't done anything long enough to figure out what I'm consistently throwing yet. I just definitely like making it. So, oops, I think I did that the wrong direction. Gotta do it that way. There we go. Keep the head. Keep the head. All right, so I definitely love color, and I'm probably not the only person who does, but my goodness, am I a color girl. I am the color girl. Okay, these are going to be the peacock zingers, and they're so not the right color, but they are beautiful already, aren't they? Oh, you guys can't even see. Here, let me scooch that over. There, we'll just get that in there. Sorry, I thought that you guys could see. So yeah, I really, like I said, I want you guys to feel like you have a companion or buddy when you have to do responsible things. Maybe you're doing your books, like I'm supposed to be doing my taxes or my inventory and all that kind of stuff. Maybe you can be responsible and do that while I'm painting. You know? So mixed media is my thing. So I'm going to let this set up and dry just a tad, but then we might hammer this thing with gouache or I have the new Neo, water-soluble Neos, which I don't actually even know what that all the way means yet. So you guys might more than me, but yeah, so we're going to get some color in there. Yeah, sing-a-zing, sing-a-zing-ding. Oh, they have these little spiky things on their head. I forgot that they had that. That's cool. They got little floaty feathers on their head. What a beautiful bird. I saw a post in my local chat that was talking about peacocks, and somebody was upset because the neighbor's peacock kept getting out and coming over, and the rest of the people are like, oh, how sad for you. You live in the country and you have peacocks, beautiful peacocks. But I grew up and we had some peacocks, and then at one time we had neighbors that were raising them. And they are a very big bird that can be very territorial and mean, and they get up on your cars and poop everywhere, which isn't so bad, except for they're so big and heavy. Their nails and claws scratch your paint everywhere. And they live a long time, and they're very beautiful, of course, and loud. But when I say they're territorial and mean, they are intimidating. They're scary. So I kind of felt bad because the person kind of, as with lots of social media these days, they kind of got ripped for having this opinion, and I was like, oh, I get it, I was there once, and I was little. And actually geese are like that too. They actually have a reason why geese are like guard geese. There's like a real legit concerning thing. So I felt bad, but it doesn't mean they aren't beautiful. We will give them that. They are a showstopper. Look at this. This is fun. I'm a bird painter and a plant and flower painter, but I think maybe peacocks should join the ranks of what is always painted. What do you guys think? Should we do that? Should we add peacocks to the list of let's get really good at peacocks? Oh, okay. Okay, see, that's it. That's part of what I'm doing. Do you see how fast that is? Because I have a lot of disciplines in my life that I work hard over. Let me get another, I'm gonna grab up another art journal. I think I have a bigger one here that I might do. I might have to do that again. Maybe not. Maybe let's do the hummingbird one. We'll slip these out of the way. We'll do this hummingbird one. It's not very bold and bright, and I'm gonna make it probably bold and bright. But the fuchsias, I just think those fuchsias are kind of stunning. So my family members are blessing me with these art journals, and I don't know what kind I like yet, but man, are they all very, very different. And so I get to practice using different materials on the pages, because like this one doesn't like water super much. I did that swan. What do you think of that? And then there's a hummingbird. And I like to just make marks. Some people don't know, but there's actually an entire type of art that's just mark making. That's what this would be, just mark making. And sometimes I would come back in and maybe journal. This one had a flood of water in the seam. See, this one doesn't take the water very well. Can you see that it's actually like a butterfly face? It's, what do they call it? A little anthropomorphic, but it's just the face. I'm very, very fascinated by trying to get faces in. I don't know why, because they're literally the thing that's going to make me look like an amateur for the longest. So, yeah. This is just squiggles and dots and lots of joy right here. And it's like I said, I'm not super great at it. I'm still learning about, I forgot what kind of paint I used on this. That looks like acrylic or something different. And this was my first use of, what did I tell you I needed to use earlier? That sticky stuff that goes down, masking fluid. There we go, sticky stuff, aka sticky stuff. But let's get in here. We're gonna go for the hummingbird and the fuchsias. But I am not going to mess around with as much water. I'm gonna try to limit my water, because this book does not like that. But I definitely need a clip. I'm a garage sailor, and so I have actually found a couple of estate sales where they have like big chunky piles of these guys. Not that they're very much money to begin with, but man, I get all excited like I'm some kind of cool kid when I get to get my art supplies. My daughter-in-law gave me these, and I think these will make beautiful fuchsias. So let's get some green. Like I said, I'm just gonna go for it. These are kind of like squishy and wet and quick feeling. They're different. They're water soluble, but they're watercolor crayon set. And yeah, that's the movement I want. This little movement where they go up like this. And I spend a lot of time in my chair as a novelist. So one of the things I've purposed is that if I learn new craft, I don't make myself have to read books or study from books. I get to, you know, watch YouTube. I get to find live situations where it happens. I get to do it and learn from doing. I think we'll do this on both pages. What do you guys think? Should we? You might not be able to see what I'm doing over here super much, but yeah, these are going to get used up quick, which actually don't mind that. I actually determined to use my supplies. If I'm going to spend money on something expensive, by golly, we are going to, so we're going to do these. These are fuchsia little guys, right? They're like light and airy on this part. Ooh, I should use my watercolor pencils on that. That would be great. Okay, so watercolor pencil for, let me get some, these would be better than, I'm gonna get some, this is just they have like bamboo or something growing through there. I think it's just a contrast, really. Yeah, they have a different plant's leaves that are kind of, they're doing this. Yeah, this isn't super fine. I'm not a realist for sure. That's the one thing I think I can define for sure. And the reason is, oh, I'm shaking you guys. Sorry. Make you seasick. The reason I'm not a realist is because it takes too much patience. Didn't we already talk about Kara's patience over here? Yes, this is so fun. This you can't even see unless I hit it with something later, but we might just have to hit it with something later. Get a little color in there. But these feel like almost like a grease stick, but it's watercolor. But I kind of like how fast they go down and how readily handy they are. Before we do that, we're gonna do this. I wish this had a little bit of a purple. I guess you're supposed to mix your own, right? That is not what I'm doing. No, that is not what I'm doing. I'm trying to catch some details in there. I wonder if I have to seal this because this feels like it's not going to dry solid. Oh, maybe. I don't know. Sure feels slickery coming out. That's the technical term. Did you guys catch that? Slickery. Slickery. And we are doing great here because a mess is actually happening. So it's like bamboo or something. It has these little sideways lines. I'm trying to get away from like realism drawing where you like kind of make the reader see the paint observer see every single line. Like that's not what I want. I want them to have an impression and a gist, almost like a sense of shape and what's there. Oops, I colored right over the bottom of that one. That was a mistake. What can we do about that? I'm not sure we can fix that, but we might have to maneuver. When in doubt, maneuver. Which I might have something I can do over the top of that. Oh. Yeah, these have like, don't they have little, I missed my opportunity here to do those little, yeah. I think I really like certain flowers. I like drawing poppies a lot. I don't know why, but I definitely do. Okay, so we got a little bit of that. Where's our hummingbird? I forgot about our hummingbird. Okay, I'm gonna do hummingbird with paint, but I'm gonna try to be a little bit light-handed with the actual paints. Let's see. Whoa, this is a bold color, but let's get some tail feathers in there. Get some wingy boys, wingies. He's gonna go right over the tops of these flowers because he's out front, right? This is like dry watercoloring because I'm trying not to use very much water because it does not play well with others on this book. It wants to. yeah, we're getting there. Starting to take shape. They always talk about the ugly phase. I think that is something I'm starting to get ahead of, is the idea that it has to be like perfect from the get-go. I mean, you've seen what I've done here. There's no aspirations of perfection. They're just, you want to get to the point where you can make marks happily and instinctively and end up with something that you like the look of, right? And starting to, I think I'm gonna end up using some of my Neo pastels. I love my bird feeders. We call them, my bestie friend and I, we call them bird traps. We feed our bird traps because the cats inevitably pick off one or two, right? You feed them and everybody's happy, except for the poor one or two that got sacrificed for the masses. And this is it's funny, not funny, right? The circle of life as we see it. But where I live, I get to have hummingbirds year round. They come back. Different ones come at different times a year, and there's some primary ones, but definitely appreciate their beauty, and I like to take care of them with good food. Yeah, so we got some soft sides here. Yeah, it's getting too like realistic. Like we gotta do something to pop. I don't know yet what we're gonna do. Oh, I know what we're gonna do. Well, first of all, I'm gonna rescue this. Oh, maybe I have to go over this. This is not sitting on the watercolor crayon. It must not be solely water-based because it doesn't play well with the paint here. But we're gonna take some actual paint, like it's this stuff. I always like showing off my little thrifted. I got this at the thrift store. Some kids made this at school, I'm sure, but isn't it cute? Yeah, so we'll just use this to catch some of these. Yeah. Oops, that one was better before, I think. Which happens sometimes, doesn't it? And get that under there. Do this one over here too. So the hummingbird is going to be coming in behind, which that wasn't the original intent, but hey. Yeah. I gotta be careful with this because it basically is just white out. So I think I'm accenting things, but we're not really accenting things. We are making white out happen. But I like this little bit that's left over on my brush. I think I might take this white brush and use my little fancy dish here and find some water and mix some real red in there. Oops, I just put this color paint in my paint palette, this kind of paint in my paint palette, but this softens up these, makes them visible too a little bit. Gets our fuchsias some love. Let's give our fuchsias some love, right? All right. And what was this one? I forgot. Oh, this was the white. Maybe we'll make these light pink with this, since this is the other. It's like daisy white. Well, that's no good. You can't see nothing there. Nope. Here I go putting this kind of paint all over everything. I don't like it. I don't like it. I've just got to add this color a couple places now, but I don't really like it. What do you do when you don't like it? You keep going, right? Get past the ugly stage and bust out the other side. Get some seed heads. Let's put one over here. And we'll get a darker green for, I don't actually mind mixing my paints together and getting wonky colors, but I maybe should probably mind mixing types of paint, right? Yeah, that's not as pretty as, I'm still not happy with this. These flowers here, they're kind of ugly. Ugly. That was from Lion King. The hyena that laughed the whole time, right? Okay. I'm going to be done with that and let it dry, and then I'll figure out something else. But I don't mind my green color. Maybe we can use this a little bit on here. These are, you know, watercolors in here. They're supposed to blend around, but we already figured out that they're a little bit oily, so they don't work the way we think. Yeah, let's get some green to show off this. Remember, this is the paper that I have to be a little bit circumspect with how much water I use, because it's not liking it. It don't like it. Okay, so, oh, I spilled on my little, this is my, what is this thing? That's how late it is. Brain is out to lunch, not working anymore. It's the scene of the little piece of pottery that I showed you guys. All right, we like that a little bit. Ooh, that makes me remember that we can do the splat thing. Splat. Oops, I did it right on the flower. Not a good splat. Let me get that up right there. Don't mind some of the other splats, but let's get it up off this. All right, I want to make my hummingbird have a little more sass, and so we're actually going to switch medium. And this might work for, I might do this too. This is watercolor pencil. I actually do really like these guys. These are watercolor pencils are becoming fast, very much a part of my routine. We'll just pretend that's behind, right? Do you like? I don't know. It does seem like it's joining my flowers together a little bit, like the actual connection from the top to the bottom. But I actually have used these enough. My dad got this set at a garage sale for me, which it's actually not the most expensive, but you know, every little bit helps. But I've used them enough that I actually had to buy a sharpener. How nerdy is that? Okay. So we're gonna, this sharpener is actually fancy though, because it does the, it goes all the way around and does the pointy points. It makes the point. You can actually do two different types of really pointy, make a sharp tip, you know? Okay, so now I was telling you about these Neo. So these are water-based. I really should have kept the thing that describes it. Neo Color 2 Aquelas, and that's the brand. It gives you the color, but they're not like this. These watercolor ones were like slippery and slickery, and these guys have that texture, but there's definitely more depth and more body in them. So I don't want that to bleed down. Yeah, so we're still working on that, and this little color here might be kind of a nice texture. See how pretty that is? Ooh, I likey that. Good, yes, that makes the fuchsia pop, huh? That's super fun. I'm liking that. Yay, that ties it together. So that would be why I mixed media, because you just don't know where that one thing that's going to help them along is going to pop out from. And I made this, this is a little confused in here, but we won't look too close at it, okay? Everybody's a little confused at some point, right? Okay, so over here, I'm going to get this. Ooh, I'm almost doing this pressing too hard. Like, I forget I don't have to be rough with these. I almost snapped these. I can feel this one breaking in the middle. All right, so now let's get some green on. I actually broke the tip of this one off, so let's use the tip and try to catch some on this little hummingbird. Get some boldness going in its belly. And up the sides of its arms here. Get some down in his. That's nice. I really, something about it, it sits on top. I've appreciated that. Like, I really kind of can appreciate that. I want to get, so this is a ruby red, a ruby hummingbird. That's the kind we have around here. So I kind of want to catch this. I want to catch that it's red on there, and then it goes all the way to here, real red, and then there's some green bits in here. They're so iridescent. They're so amazing when you watch them up close. I have them coming in right by my kitchen window where I have to do the chores all the time. Aren't you glad nobody's keeping stats on how much dishes and laundry we do? You know how much life-sucking, soul-sucking information that would be? Let's not keep track of that, you know? And lighten up. Let's make some feathery accents here. Yeah, a little bit of sweepy-doos. Yeah, I kind of like that. I wonder if the white, this has a white, I wonder if it sits on top. Like if I do this right here, if it will sit on top of other colors. Not as good as the old ink or the old pot of paint, but this has a little texture to it, so that's not so bad. Okay, so I want to catch the eyeball, and eyeballs are really something that makes the art go, doesn't it? Like, you can get that whole artwork done, and if you don't have a good eyeball, they definitely go sideways on you for a minute. Yeah. Ooh, that was a good move. Good move. One slide of the crayon, boom, and it made it right over the flower, and it was like, yes, yes. I think I need my green sloppy splat that I did that was all over here. I think I need it a little bit in this corner down here. Splat away. Yeehaw. Boop, 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 boop. Must make sound effects while doing this. What a joy. Okay, so now, we're almost done with this one. Then we got to try to repair that one. Oh, I forgot Mr. Peacock too. We're working on him. I do absolutely. Okay, so one of the things I've been picking up from the videos repeatedly is, let's get a little tiny dolloper. Teeny, 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 teeny. Can you guys even see this? I sure hope you can. Okay. Tiniest little eyeball dot. All right, take a little breather. Let me hold this one up for you. What have I learned? They say, stay loose. I'm overthinking it. I've overworked it. Stay loose. We must stay loose. Well, I think my natural inclination is to be almost too loose. So there is the thing. I'm going to tip you up. Hang on. Get dizzy. Here we go. Woohoo. Okay. You can only see part of me, but that's a little break, right? Okay, so this one, what do you think? We did that. We did that very quickly, and I'm actually pretty happy with that. So I'm putting it down here to dry. You won't see that one again. We might fuss on Mr. Peacock. Actually, could almost be done because it's almost, what you call that, abstract-y looking. But I think I can take it one notch better. And then the goal is to rescue these flowers because I don't really like this one. It's boring. It's very boring. We don't like this one yet. Okay, so you ready to go back down here? Can you see good enough? I wonder if I should just do this. Is that better? I wonder if I was at too tight of an angle before. I always just feel bad if you can't see what's going on, then that's sort of stupid. Hopefully you could see enough before what was going on. Okay, so on this peacock, first of all, we're gonna find our paper. So we had 2 peacocks to look at. This one's like, these were cards, aren't they both just kind of stunning? Talk about a different kind of art. I think there's a lesson there. Interesting. Credits, thrifted, probably can't ever get them again. They're probably from like, is there a date on them? They're probably, this one's University of Texas. Oh, this one's 2016. So it was an estate, so odds are no getting them back. Yeah, so we're gonna do a little highlight at the top here. Did you see that? Went down pretty good. We're gonna add some texture in here. Illusion of rumpy butt flowers, rumpy butt things. Oh, we get to do the green feathers. I didn't realize I was missing the like thing that actually makes it like a feather. The flicks. Let's flick away. Yeah, flick, flick, baby, flick. Ooh, I kind of like this. This is whimsical. We're adding something there. That's so good. See it? Can you see the beginnings of it? Like right there? Ooh, my niece and nephew, they would, ooh, pretty colors. That was a kind of a saying in our family when our kids were little because they would watch us do stuff and get that same. Okay, this needs a sharp edge, so we definitely don't want this to get dull. We like this flicky flick, flicky flick. Yeah, all the feathers, texture everywhere, right? Okay, let's see if we can get that. I'm gonna peel my first Neo color. Now these end up in people's art supplies, like in a little crayon box, all torn up and broke up and all that. So we are entering the land of cool people because it's actually almost used. Yep. Ready? Sound effects, please. Must. Let's go. Yeah, we just want to add a little bit. Where do we want to catch this on this body? Oh, yeah, down the side of his incline here. And we got to go down the forehead a little bit here. Forehead and face is looking a little bit harsh. I'm going to try to get it to pop with these guys. I don't know if I can. So he has a beak, and I've been negligent of his actual beak. I don't quite have the face shape well in hand here. We will do our darndest to bring it back. This side. Yeah, let's bring it back. We need some coolness here. Feathers again. Oh goodness, that looks pretty with the red in the back. Oh goodness, goodness. Starting to get somewhere. I like. Ooh, and that's fun to do. These feel cool. I'm a tactile person. I don't know if any of you guys are. We're not there yet, but do you see change? Good change. Got some, ooh, we need some more. I see a bald spot. There's no floofy floofs right there. Ooh, you know what? We're gonna get in here with this watercolor guy and add another layer of, see, like this guy? Big butt right there. We'll just add these guys in, but let's be like loop-de-doo about it. Loop-de-doo. That was the technical term. Control the loop-de-doos. Oop, I broke this one on the inside. Definitely soft. They definitely don't require a very heavy hand. Okay, so I'm also paint. Let's get a paint. Separate the body from the all the way up here. A little bit of feathers. Oop, I got quiet. Are we relaxed? Are we thinking? What are we doing here? I don't know, but it's sure fun. Okay. And we're gonna get an eyeball. Ooh, this would go in here too. Add a dimension to these flowers. Ooh, I kind of like that abstractiness. Almost looking more like a bachelor button in there, aren't they? That was good. Ooh, I wonder if I can rescue these with the white over the top of these now. Ooh, that's better. Oh my gosh, so much better. And then we'll get the daisy centers on these, and they'll be rescued. Ooh, they needed that. Oh boy, did they need that. Okay, so now gold or yellow, pure yellow. Let's shake. Let's get these hammered in there. Don't really go there, but got a lot of ink out on that one, so you should probably use that ink because it was like dripping. So let's get some yellow in these. We'll make this background of flowers. Okay, we are getting somewhere. That's going to take a minute to dry, but I actually probably will leave this. This is probably done to me. I might journal around on this one. Oops, we don't want to drip that. Oops, it slid all around. Oops, it's really slid. Nice. Did we ruin it or do we like it even better? I don't know. We might like it even better. That's creative. Not really, but that was a whoopsie daisy. Okay, so we want to hit the eyeball, and I think I need to allude to the blue being further over. Ooh, it's kind of looking neat. Is there a black one of these colors? No, there's not. Let's get, I wonder if I can use my black watercolor if it's wet. Oh, that definitely gives me a pop of black. But I cannot pick it up and show you now because we have drippy dews again. Ooh, the contrast. Ooh, I might have to tip you guys down to it because this really steps it up when you get some of that contrast in there. Okay. No, we don't want that either. Doesn't work. I tried to put in the second eyeball because it seems like it should go there, but it doesn't work. It don't work. So we're pulling in some color back in on this side to make it so it makes more sense, okay? Okay, I'm done with that one. I'm sure that someone else somewhere could make this better even, but I actually kind of like this. This is beautiful. I love all the abstract color. Like, I might have to do another one of these. All right, do not be surprised if all of a sudden I go peacock mad. I can't lift it up to you, but hopefully you can see it from there. All right, we are 1 hour in. That is a really long YouTube. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing my story with my mom. And I wish she was here. I'm gonna put an eyeball on this, a white dot on this peacock's eyeball when it dries, which if I ever get these things done and I get to do a flip through, then you will see that. So good night for now. I keep looking over here because I'm not very good at looking at the dot where you're supposed to look. So forgive. I have other lives where I've painted and drawn, but I also have a million things like the garden and the animals outside and different weirdo things, puppies, all that stuff. So that is my channel. My channel is all the things. I used to just do a garden thing. So hopefully this isn't too boring. Have a good night. Bye.